And when I say coming, I mean a storm of disruption. AI flipping entire industries, geopolitical fault lines shifting, economies collapsing and reforming overnight. The ground is moving beneath your feet. They never see it coming. They talk, they speculate, they debate, but they don't prepare. You see, disruption doesn't arrive with fireworks. It doesn't knock. It kicks the door down while you're still asleep on the couch of comfort, clinging to yesterday's assumptions. Disruption is not polite. It doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't wait for your motivation. It rewrites the rules while you're still memorizing the old ones. Most people are so in love with stability that they ignore the tremors right under their feet. They walk confidently on shaky ground, convinced that what worked yesterday will work tomorrow. That's the flaw. That's the lie, because everything changes, markets shift, systems collapse, technology evolves. Power rotates, and those who didn't build the muscle for change, those who laughed when the warnings came, those are the first to fall when the storm hits. You can't outpray a disruption, you can't outthink it in theory. The only way through it is to move decisively, strategically, and fast. Disruption rewards agility, not pedigree. It respects those who adapt, not those who admire change from a distance. While you're still explaining your 5-year plan, someone else is already executing year 3 of theirs. While you're asking for permission, they're rewriting policy. While you're still polishing your LinkedIn profile, they've built the next category, killing business and made your role obsolete. This is the era of brutal truth. The marketplace doesn't care about your effort. It rewards value. It rewards relevance. The world isn't going to stop spinning because you didn't see AI coming. It won't pause to let you figure out blockchain, decentralized finance, or digital ecosystems. It moves forward, and if you're not moving with it, you're not standing still. You're falling behind, but here's the painful part. Disruption doesn't feel like an event. It feels like inconvenience. The taxi driver didn't know Uber would end his career. The store owner didn't know e-commerce would wipe his margins. The office manager didn't know remote work would make his real estate lease pointless. It's not loud. It's not sudden. It's a slow, quiet erosion of what you thought was permanent. Then one day you wake up, and everything you depended on is gone. You've got to ask yourself, where are you still building on quicks? And what system do you believe in just because it's familiar? What industry do you work in that's already outdated but still functions out of habit, not necessity? See, disruption is not just about technology. It's about thinking. The most dangerous mindset is the one that says, that won't happen here. That's the lullaby of the soon-to-be irrelevant. The moment you start defending the past, you lose your grip on the future. The moment you seek comfort in tradition, you sign a lease with stagnation. But it's not all bad news. There's a reason the disruptors always win. They see differently. They think in frameworks, not feelings. They understand that what looks like chaos to others is clarity to them, because inside every breakdown is an opening, a window, a leverage point. That's where the leaders emerge, not because they predicted the future perfectly, but because they responded better than everyone else when it arrived. You're not late, but you are on the clock. Time is the most expensive currency you're wasting. The longer you wait for certainty, the more disruptive the disruption becomes. You need to move now, not emotionally, not impulsively, but intentionally. Move with precision, move with insight, move with urgency, because the future is not waiting for your convenience. It is accelerating, and it will expose every weakness you've hidden behind qualifications, titles, and years of experience. What matters now is agility, learning speed, and execution. Not your story, not your degree, not your legacy. The question isn't whether disruption is coming. The question is whether you're preparing for it, or pretending it won't happen to you. Because here's the bottom line, you're not entitled to stability. You're not entitled to a predictable future. You're only entitled to what you're willing to adapt to, build for, and fight through. Everything is about to change. And most people won't be ready, but you've just been warned. What you do next determines everything. They think they're winning, but they're playing a game that doesn't even matter. They chase titles. They chase likes, they chase applause in rooms that hold no real power. That's the illusion, the idea that because people clap for you, you're progressing. The idea that because your phone doesn't stop buzzing, you're important. The idea that because your schedule is full, you're making impact. It's the greatest lie of this generation, confusing noise for significance. You see, the illusion is comfortable, it's seductive, it feeds the ego and keeps you pacified. The illusion tells you you've made it, while reality is screaming, you're getting left behind. Most people are building a brand before they've built any real value. They want the perception of success without going through the pain of becoming excellent. That's not hustle, that's performance. But here's the truth. Reality is brutal. Reality doesn't care about the filters you use. It doesn't care about the perception you curate. Reality keeps score in outcomes, not opinions. Reality is cold, hard numbers. It's whether you're solving real problems, serving real people, creating real leverage. Reality asks, if we removed the noise, the stage, the followers, what would be left? Most people can't answer that question because they've mistaken movement for momentum. They're busy, but they're not building. They're active, but they're not advancing. They're visible, but they're not valuable. And the dangerous part is this. The illusion makes you feel like you're progressing, so you stop growing. You stop questioning. You stop improving. You believe your own hype. And once you believe the illusion, you defend it. You get offended when someone challenges it. You surround yourself with people who validate it, and you become blind to the fact that you've plateaued. Here's what no one tells you. You can't scale illusion. You can't expand what isn't real. You can amplify it, sure. You can market it. You can package it well. But eventually, the market will test it. Life will test it. And when it does, illusion always collapses under pressure. Because illusion can't carry weight. Only substance can. Reality, on the other hand, is forged, it's earned, it's tested, it's uncomfortable, but it's dependable. Reality is waking up early when no one's watching. It's doing the reps when no one claps. It's taking losses in silence and still showing up. It's leading teams, solving problems, bleeding into projects, and executing when motivation is dead. And you know what separates those who live in reality from those who live in illusion. Discipline, the willingness to sit with the truth, the courage to face what isn't working, the maturity to admit, I need to be better, not for applause, not for branding, but because growth is the only way forward. There are people right now who look like they're ahead of you, flashy, loud, celebrated, but give it time. Illusion burns fast, it explodes and disappears, but reality compounds, it builds, slowly, quietly, relentlessly. And when the dust settles, it's the builders, those who did the work in silence, who take over. So here's the question. Are you building something real, or are you just putting on a good show? Are you chasing depth or just visibility? Would your results survive if no one was watching? Strip away the performance. Strip away the narrative. Strip away the hype. What's left? Because in the end, only one thing matters. Reality always wins. Reality is the only thing that scales, the only thing that grows, the only thing that transforms. You don't need another motivational quote. You don't need another personal brand tip. You need results, you need clarity, you need truth, and truth, by the way, doesn't shout. It whispers, it invites you, and if you ignore it long enough, it wrecks everything you built on illusion. So step out of the show. Step into the work. Step into the real, because illusion may get you attention, but only reality will get you freedom. Chaos doesn't knock, it storms in, it flips the table, it tears up the script, and in that moment people panic. They freeze, they run, because chaos is uncomfortable, it's unpredictable, it strips away the illusion of control. But here's what most people miss. Inside that chaos, opportunity hides in plain sight. Most people spend their lives waiting for perfect conditions, the perfect economy, the perfect support, the perfect confidence, and when chaos shows up, they shrink, they tighten, they retreat. They say, this isn't the right time. But there is no right time. There's only the time you decide to act. If you look back on the greatest businesses, the greatest leaders, the greatest shifts, they were all born out of chaos, recessions, crashes, disasters, upheaval. The system shook, And someone, somewhere, saw the cracks not as threats but as openings. They didn't run, they moved, they leaned in. While others were waiting to be rescued, they were building lifeboats. And that's the difference. See, chaos is nature's way of clearing space, of ending what no longer serves, of leveling the playing field. The stronghold of the old world crumbles so that the new builders can rise. But only those who stop reacting long enough to think can see it. Opportunity doesn't announce itself. It disguises itself as disruption, as risk, as volatility. That's why most people never see it. They're looking for something that feels safe. Feels logical, feels easy. Opportunity is none of those things. It looks like hard work. It feels like fear. It's packaged in uncertainty and wrapped in problems no one wants to touch. But the one who steps in, not with arrogance but with clarity, that person finds the gold in the rubble. People say they want to win, but then chaos hits, and they start talking about survival. Real players don't pivot to survive. They pivot to dominate. They understand that when the rules change, the game resets. And when the game resets, the fastest learner wins. Not the strongest, not the richest. The one who adapts first. This is where most people go wrong. They wait. They watch. They think timing is everything. No, timing is created by action, by bold, informed, decisive movement. While others are asking, is it safe? The leaders are asking, where is the opening? You want to know what chaos gives you. It gives you attention. It gives you leverage. It gives you space, but only if you're ready. Only if you've done the inner work before the outer storm hits. Because if you're not clear, chaos will consume you. But if you are, it will elevate you. The key is not to avoid chaos, it's to be prepared to recognize the window when it comes, because it always comes. Every collapse births a new need. Every disruption reveals a weakness. Every system breakdown opens a door for someone to solve, to build, to lead. But you can't see that if your mind is still addicted to comfort. You can't move on it if you're still protecting what no longer serves. This is not the season for hesitation. It's the season for clarity, for execution, for conviction. It's the season where giants are born. The question is simple. Will you be one of them? Will you rise while others fall asleep? Will you build while others complain? Will you move when others freeze? You don't need the world to calm down. You don't need the noise to stop. You need to hear your own voice inside of it, the voice that says, I've been preparing for this, I've been built for this, I've been sharpening for this very moment. Opportunity doesn't come in calm seasons. It comes wrapped in chaos, dressed in uncertainty, and it asks only one thing, are you ready? Because those who recognize chaos as camouflage for opportunity, they are the ones who own the future. You want to win, but you're still waiting to feel ready. You talk about success like it's a destination, as if one day the stars will align, fear will vanish, doubt will evaporate, and suddenly you'll execute with perfect confidence. Let me break it to you straight. That day doesn't exist. That's a fantasy sold to people who want applause more than results. The ones who win, they move before they're ready. They start while it's still messy. They lean into the discomfort. Comfort is the enemy of growth. It's the silent killer of potential. It whispers, you're doing enough, when you know you're not. It tells you to slow down, to play it safe, to protect your image. But greatness was never built on comfort. It was built in the fire. It was built in the friction. In the days when everything inside you said, stop. But you kept going anyway. Everyone says they want to grow. Until growth demands sacrifice. Until growth asks for your time, your sleep, your pride. Until growth strips away the luxury of blaming other people, other systems, your past, your environment. You want to evolve, then get uncomfortable now. Not later, now. You need to stop romanticizing comfort like it's your reward. Comfort is not a reward. It's a trap. It's the drug that keeps you numb while the world moves past you, the people you admire. They didn't get there by staying comfortable. They chose pain on purpose. They chose the difficult route. They had the same fears, the same doubts, but they made a different decision. Every level you want to reach lives on the other side of discomfort. The business you want to build, you'll have to have hard conversations, take unpopular decisions, and show up when no one claps. The health you want, you'll need to push past exhaustion, discipline your appetite, and stop negotiating with weakness. The relationships you want, you'll need to listen when you want to react, serve when you want to receive, stay when it's easier to leave. Discomfort is not a punishment, it's preparation. Every time you resist the urge to retreat, you're building the muscle to sustain what you say you want. Because let me tell you, it's easy to get success. It's 10 times harder to hold it. The real test is not whether you can touch your goal. It's whether you can carry it, sustain it, grow it. That takes internal strength. That takes emotional intelligence. That takes resilience. And resilience is only built through discomfort. You don't learn in ease. You learn when your back's against the wall. You grow when the excuses run out, and the only thing left is action. You sharpen when you're under pressure and the only way out is through. So stop asking for easy. Stop wishing for less challenge. Wish instead for more capacity, more courage, more fire, because the life you want won't adjust to your comfort zone. You'll have to expand your capacity to meet it. That means waking up earlier than your excuses. That means risking rejection. That means letting go of what's good so you can grab what's great. You need to disrupt your comfort before life does it for you. Because life will. If you don't move now, life will move you, and it won't ask for your permission. It'll force your hand, and by then, it'll be too late to practice. That's why you train now. That's why you build the mental toughness now. That's why you lean into discomfort now, so that when the pressure hits, you don't break. You respond, you execute, you rise. There is no growth without friction, no mastery without repetition, no elevation without sacrifice. The people who get ahead, they don't have fewer problems. They've just decided to get comfortable being uncomfortable. So choose discomfort. Choose the hard conversation. Choose the early morning. Choose the extra rep. Choose the silence that forces you to reflect. Choose the grind that feels invisible. Because when you can stand in discomfort and still move, still create, still lead, you become unstoppable. Get uncomfortable now. Or stay average forever. You'll move. This is your last warning, not a threat, not a scare tactic, not a motivational soundbite wrapped in fancy words. This is the final call before the door shuts, before the window closes, before the game moves on without you. The clock isn't ticking anymore, it's banging. Most people hear a message like this and nod. They nod because it feels good to be told the truth, even if they have no intention of acting on it. But truth doesn't care about your feelings. Truth doesn't care about your nodding. Truth is brutal. Truth is non-negotiable. And the truth right now is simple. If you don't move now, you will get left behind. You've been warned before. Life warned you when that job started draining your soul. You stayed. Life warned you when that relationship broke you more than it built you. You stayed. Life warned you when the business you're in started dying while you were still trying to revive it with outdated thinking. And still, you stayed. You've ignored every red flag. You've prayed over warning signs instead of pivoting. You've mistaken comfort for clarity. This is no longer a season for second chances. This is consequence season. This is where everything you've ignored starts collecting interest. The dreams you put off. They're turning into regret. The decisions you delayed, they're deciding for you. The calling you muted, it's getting quieter. Not because it's gone, but because you're no longer listening. And here's what makes this so dangerous. You're not doing anything wrong. You're just not doing anything right enough. You're busy. You're moving. You're grinding. But you're circling. You're hustling around a life that doesn't challenge you. And deep down, you know it. The world is shifting in real time. While you're overthinking, someone else is executing. While you're editing your 10th draft, they've already launched. While you're seeking validation, they've secured victory. This isn't about talent. This isn't about intelligence. This is about urgency. The difference between average and elite right now is speed. The market doesn't wait for late adopters. It rewards the bold. It pays the prepared. You've got one shot. Not because there won't be other opportunities, but because the one you're holding right now won't wait forever. If you don't make the move, someone else will. If you don't answer the call, someone else will take the mic. And don't fool yourself. Life doesn't run out of replacements. You think you're being cautious. You're not. You're being passive. You think you're being patient. You're not. You're being fearful. and fear will keep you warm while everything around you burns. This is your last warning to kill the version of you that's scared. Kill the version of you that keeps asking for permission. Kill the version that keeps negotiating with laziness. Because the only way the next version of you is born is if this one dies, the indecisive one, the one who knows what to do but delays, the one who talks like a leader but acts like a follower, the one who's full of potential but bankrupt in execution. You've got to decide now. Are you going to live life reacting, or are you going to take control? Are you going to keep playing small so others feel comfortable? Or are you going to disrupt every room you walk into because you finally stepped into your real power? No more timeouts, no more warm-ups. The game is live. You're not preparing anymore, you're performing. And if you keep acting like you have time, time will prove you wrong. Because this is the part no one says out loud. There are no guarantees you get another shot. No guarantee you'll be strong enough to try again. No guarantee the door stays open. No guarantee the next season will be as generous. So here it is, raw, unfiltered, clear. This is your last warning. Move. Before you lose everything you never thought could slip away, if you walk away from this moment without recalibrating everything, you're choosing to be outpaced tomorrow. So this is your last warning.